Hey, trusted friends, I have an idea, and I've had it for several years, and I thought I would finally, it's February 2022, it's time I dust it off and run it by a small handful of trusted friends, and you're one of those friends. You're listening to this because you are, well, because you agreed to, because you're intelligent and because you know something about marketing and propaganda and that kind of thing. So it's kind of a combination here. I'm looking for smart people who are voluntarious, who understand mass manipulation, etc. So I've been reading a great book, and a lot of it's repeat stuff, but it's the Bernays Reader. Ed Bernays is kind of a collection of all of his stuff. And as I'm going along, I'm just thinking over and over the liberty movement, not the capital L libertarian, but the true liberty movement, has been so disjointed forever. Everyone is doing their own thing and using their own phrases and their own words. And that's wonderful, spontaneous order. And it ain't how to sell. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to change anybody's the way they're doing things. I love just kind of coming up with ideas and doing random videos. And I'm not really suggesting we change that, but I am suggesting that a group of us get together and conspire ways to maybe get the message out better. And so I've jotted down some ideas in my journal. I'm going to run them by you. And if you're going to turn this off because you're not interested in propaganda kind of stuff, do me a favor, just listen to another minute or two. And then if it's not catching, it's not something you want to be involved in, then yeah, turn it off. Please let me know so I don't kind of count on you. I've got a handful of people that I'm kind of thinking would be good at this. So the smart strategies that are used for propaganda that Bernays talks about, that all the big major companies use, that the political parties in the United States use, the government uses, the United Nations use. Everybody is using the most sophisticated communication techniques, and it's working. And they own the media, and they own what's it, cathedral, the media, and the higher education, and I forget what the other thing is, but yeah, the bad guys have that. But might we be able to do some good? And some ideas would be that we form just having a little exploratory meeting, maybe just do a Signal groups video conference and chat about some ideas. And this isn't so much about brainstorming, because I think that's something we're really going to have to fight against, is just coming up with all kinds of crazy ideas. We need to do that, but then we need to narrow them down. And the kind of the purpose of this advisory panel, this board, whatever we want to call it, is we'll be kind of the Davos, we'll be the brain Davos, the brains behind stuff, and then we'll kind of send out the messages little by little, and I've got ideas on how to do that, to the masses. And so we're kind of the decision makers. We decide what's important. Are we going to do? Are we going to start calling masks? And it's just an old example, but face diapers or mouth diapers or something else. And it's going to require some compromise. I don't think we should compromise our principles, but we're going to have some very different opinions. And if you really, really, really think it should be face diapers and somebody else thinks it should be face or mouth diapers, when we come to a decision, I don't know how to make that decision. I don't know if we do the democracy thing. I don't know. But however we come to that conclusion, when the board says, hey, everybody, here's what we're hitting on this month, this year, whatever, is we are going to call masks mouth diapers. Well, I personally think face diaper is a better idea, but I need to go along with the mouth diaper because we need consistency. We need that consistent message pounded out there. God is great. It's the best part of waking up. We need to get that message out there in the same. And so if we're stubborn and we're like, people are trying to hurt each other, hurting cats, it's just not going to work. But if we're able to kind of give up some, not on principles, but on strategy and on terminology, slogans, etc., I think we could do some good stuff. So the idea is we get together, we have 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, however many are interested. You guys know some people I don't know. It seems like everybody I know who's in the Liberty community, who's bright, is in the Western U.S., Texas, Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada. is that I'm sure there are a lot of great minds. There's probably some New England folks and some Southeastern folks. And so if y'all know them, I think a few good minds put together, because not all of us are going to stick with it like we should, or like we could. I think it'd be smart to have a good group of people together. So the first exploratory meeting, I think first order of business would be talking about the ethics of propaganda. Is it moral to, where are the gray areas, where are the white areas? Since we're talking to the willfully ignorant masses, the obtuse people who are getting other stuff fed to them on CNN and in government schools, does that therefore give us permission to use different means to get the ends we want? What if we're not completely lying? What if we, an idea I had is if we came up with the term that unvaxxed women are sexier? And if that's what we decided we were going to do, and we were really putting that out there, well, okay, maybe that's not factual. That's not something we could sit down and really say, okay, that's true, but it's catchy, it's advertising, it's a slogan. Is that ethical? Is that moral? I gotta tell you, I haven't come up with the perfect conclusions myself. I do believe Carl Watner's, the ends don't justify the means. You take care of the means, and the ends will take care of themselves. I don't know where we want to be there, but I think we would want to have this exploratory meeting, talk about the ethics, talk about what we would really do, and then we would also need to decide, is it of any use? Because long story short, if our reach is going to be 132 people, and of the 132 people that we say, okay, everybody say unvaxxed women are sexier, really put that out there this month in your videos. Just make little mentions of it, make a Facebook post, a float post, put it on your video, on your podcast. Let's get that terminology out there. Well, if 132 people are hearing it and then 2% of those repeat it to somebody else, it ain't worth doing. Like, it's not worth all of our time. Those of us on this group, we're busy people, and it's because we're successful at doing other stuff as well. So if that's the only reach we're going to have, ain't worth doing. I'm suggesting that we have several different groups within our group. I'm thinking a communication strategy, marketing, propaganda. A couple people that are really good at that. I was thinking of Nathan Schucker, myself. And then this isn't to say that not everybody's good at that, but those are some names that kind of, he's a professional marketer. I think Kaysen would be great at that. I don't know if Kaysen has the time for this. And then kind of for the moral and social science team, this is kind of the strategy of, is this moral? Are we getting at the deep root of things, or are we just wasting our time on some little fly-by-night phase thing that we shouldn't be putting our effort in? I was thinking Dave Scotesi and Christian Moore could be in that group. Also, they're going to have that historical knowledge, some ethical, they can kind of look at it and say, yeah, this isn't really ethical, let's not do this. And then a talent group, and that would be people like, I put down Patrick Smith, James Freeman, Keith Knight, Larkin Rose, Ryan, who does all those great memes, that kind of thing. I think Yaakov and Nathan Schucker and Patrick Smith and Christian Moore might all have good ideas. I think Nathan, Yaakov, and Patrick have more experience in the real world. Everybody's made a few bucks because of their marketing or has done it professionally. So I'm not sure how we do all of that. I'm not sure who all is interested and who has time. I think we should also have a couple people. I'm thinking a friend of mine, Tony Scafidi, a former cop who's now 99% there voluntarist, that can just be a no man. In other words, we come up with an idea and we say, hey, we're going to put this great campaign out and we're going to say that unvaxxed women are sexier, and that's going to make all the women want to be sexy, and because that's what they want, and therefore they're not going to get vaxxed, and then all the guys are everything, oh, it's going to be awesome. And I think we need a couple no men who are going to listen to that and go, no, that's stupid. You need to say you shouldn't be appealing to women, you should be appealing to men if you want to do, or whatever. But somebody to kind of second guess us so that we're not spinning our wheels, wasting effort. Yeah. So if we could also, maybe something we talk about is, do we want to team up with people who aren't on board completely with voluntarism, but who have a big reach? Like I'm thinking Michael Malice. If we could get him to say something, that'd be great. Like if he would say unvaxxed women are sexier. Or another idea would be just jumping on board if Glenn Beck or JP Sears or Michael Malice or Joe Rogan or somebody who we probably aren't going to get to be able to hear us say something and they agree to repeat it. let's just pick up on what they're doing. Like Michael Malice is the, what's he call it? The corporate media, corporate press. I was just today interviewed for the paper just for a little blurb of pet peeves, and I use that term just to get that propaganda term out there. So if we see that he's using something, or Rogan or somebody else is using something, and it could be people on opposite sides. Like there could be some big Democrat person who uses a term and we don't agree with them about 80% of stuff, but we agree with them about that. So we jump on board and we push that term more. That's an idea. Is it all worth it? I don't know. I'm thinking we put out some shorts, just little under 1 minute videos. Got several people on staff who could do that. Nothing here's a paid position. I'm not getting paid. Nobody else is getting paid to do anything. So, who knows if the people who are good at it are going to want to or not donate that time and energy. But we could put some stuff out there. Then we would be the inner circle. Then I'm thinking there could be an outer circle who are the media people. Like, let's say James Freeman didn't want to be involved in the propaganda, the meeting once a month or whatever to come up with what it is we're going to do. But he says, oh, I'd be more than happy. Just shoot me the line and I'll make sure to use it in some of my videos that unvaxxed women are sexier. And maybe we could have a handful of content producers like him who would be in that kind of that outside circle. And then the goal would be if Larkin could say to all of his people, Larkin Rose could say to all of his followers, hey, everybody, please use the term unvaxxed women are sexier or mouth diaper or whatever. When you're describing it, I challenge everybody to use it every day this week or something like that to really get it out there. Again, do we have the reach? Would this be too small to make it even worth doing? So that's a very real possibility, but it's this idea. I want to run it by the best minds for this kind of thing. You're one of them if you're listening to this. And I'll probably think of somebody as I continue thinking. I might think of one or two other people other than the people who I've mentioned who would be good at this in various parts of it. Let me see if I missed anything crazy important here. Onlinejobs.ph. We'll get an account there. I'll pay for it. We'll get a Filipino virtual assistant who can do the actual video production and such if we need that. So that wouldn't be that expensive. They're $5-6 an hour and do a pretty good job. So that would be a resource. If we're gonna make this really work and we think it has some real potential and it's not just a stupid idea and we think that we're all willing to kind of say, okay, I keep not getting my slogan in there. Nobody wants it. And that's not the one that we're choosing each month to add to our ongoing thing. If you're going to just back out, if you don't get your way, I think we've really got to think globally, big picture here. The goal is to sell voluntarism, to make more people aware of it, to convert more people, to edge them in the correct direction. Are you on board? What do you think of this? Is it worth pursuing? Would you be up for doing an exploratory meeting sometimes in the next week or two and chat a little bit more about it? Thanks all.